Hello everyone! This winter, we embarked on an unforgettable adventure to Norway, and trust us, it was one of our most beautiful trips. From the breathtaking landscapes to the activities that seemed straight out of a movie, and of course, witnessing the Northern Lights. No wonder this country is ranked among the most beautiful in the world. In this video, we'll guide you through a detailed itinerary that lets you experience all that Norway has to offer while keeping your budget in check. We'll explain why choose Norway, what activities to do there, and you'll quickly see that a frozen winter can be fantastic, even for those who are sensitive to the cold. We'll share the secrets of how we witnessed the famous Northern Lights on our own. We'll arm you with all the tips and tricks you need to avoid any unpleasant surprises once you're there. Ready to dive into the winter wonderland? Let's go!
Have you ever dreamed of seeing the Northern Lights in person at least once in your life? We certainly have. For those unfamiliar, the aurora borealis is a luminous phenomenon that paints the night sky with stunningly colored veils, predominantly green. These natural light shows occur mostly near the north and south magnetic poles. In Europe, the best places to witness them are in Lapland, a transnational region encompassing parts of Norway, Finland, Sweden, and Russia.
Winter in this region can be incredibly harsh, with temperatures sometimes plunging to -40 degrees. Not in Norway. Thanks to the Gulf Stream, temperatures here are much milder, hovering around -5 degrees. Another huge advantage, the breathtaking Norwegian landscape. Picture this. The aurora reflected on the sea, set against a stunning backdrop. Could anything be more majestic?
But let's back down to earth to take a look at the map. Norway is a country in Northern Europe. It shares borders with Sweden, Finland, and Russia to the east, stretched over 1,750 kilometers with a width ranging from 6 to 430 kilometers. It is bordered by the Norwegian Sea to the west and north. Its coastlines are among the longest and most indented in the world, dotted with around 240,000 islands.
To maximize your chances of seeing the Northern Lights, plan your trip between October and March. We chose to go during the winter holidays in mid-February, when the days start getting longer again. Photographers rejoice! At this time of year, the sun hovers above the horizon for extended periods, providing beautiful and pleasant lights. This means that they are much longer than you expect at this latitude.
The solar cycle plays a significant role in the aurora borealis. The more active the sun, the more spectacular the northern lights. A solar cycle lasts about 11 years, with the next peak expected in July 2025. If you travel before the winter of 26-27, you'll have the best chance of witnessing extraordinary light shows.
Beyond the Northern Lights, Norway has so much to offer. In fact, we believe it's one of the most beautiful countries in the world. Look at these landscapes. The itinerary we're about to share with you has been carefully crafted to showcase a wide range of landscapes and activities, all while keeping cost optimized.
We landed in Oslo on a Friday evening and spent 2 nights there. Then, we took a second flight to Tromsø, followed by a transfer to Sommarøy Island, where we stayed for 2 nights. We then headed back to Tromsø, where we enjoyed various activities and stayed for another 2 nights. Our trip concluded with a 2-day cruise from Tromsø to Trondheim, passing through the Lofoten Islands. We returned to Paris on Sunday evening.
This itinerary lets you experience both city life and the great outdoors. Snowy landscapes to icy seas, with a myriad of activities along the way. We'll dive into the details of these activities in the rest of this video. To ensure we didn't miss the Northern Lights, we went all out. Tromsø, Sommarøy Island, and the cruise are among the best places to observe them. All you need to do is set up alerts in dedicated apps to be notified when the lights are visible. You will find all the information in the description just below.
course, you might decide to skip Oslo and head straight to Lapland. If that's the case, be sure to compare airfares. Surprisingly, we found it much cheaper to buy separate tickets for Paris-Oslo than Oslo-Tromsø than a single ticket Paris-Tromsø with or without a stopover. We took advantage of this pricing anomaly to explore Oslo. One day is short, but in winter it's already quite an experience.
If you prefer traveling by train or bus over flying, keep in mind that you'll need much more time to get from Oslo to Tromsø, and on a 9-day trip, that's not exactly ideal. For shorter journeys, we were pleasantly surprised to find that car rental prices are still very reasonable, about 250 euros for a week. However, given the unpredictable winter weather, we opted for the bus. For more details, check the description section below. Oslo, the capital of Norway, is renowned for its green spaces and museums. For a brief stay, we recommend staying in the city center, conveniently just 20 minutes from the airport, via the Flight to Get Airport Express train. This express train runs every 10 minutes, making it incredibly convenient.
You might already know that saunas are an institution here. While we were in Oslo, despite the outside temperature being a bone-chilling -15 degrees Celsius, we saw people diving into the sea from specially equipped cabins known as floating saunas. It was impressive. Here are the places we visited in Oslo: Opera House and Dock, Vigeland Sculpture Park. Welcome to Sommarøy Island. Did you know that Sommarøy means summer island? Well, this lovely little island is also worth visiting in winter. It's located in the crystal clear waters of the Arctic Circle and offers magnificent landscapes, as you can see. With the right equipment, a simple walk will unveil extraordinary panoramas. To reach the island from Tromsø, plan for a 1 to 2 hour journey. You can also take the 42 bus for a very small fee. The island's major hotel offers a bus transfer service, but it's rather expensive. If you're traveling with a group of 4 or more and prefer not to take the bus, booking a cab is a great alternative, providing more flexibility with schedules. And what about the Northern Lights? Unfortunately, we weren't so lucky. Despite receiving aurora alerts, the lights were always visible in nearby locations, sometimes just 10 or 20 kilometers away, but never right where we were. Without a car, we couldn't reach the spots where the lights were announced. Fortunately, it was easy to console ourselves thanks to the sauna and the jacuzzi. We enjoyed them in an exceptional setting.
Welcome to the capital of Northern Norway, a must-visit destination and the perfect starting point for all winter adventures in the region. From Tromsø, we've selected 3 activities for you to enjoy.
First activity, a night visit to a Sami camp with a reindeer drawn sleigh ride as a bonus.
In the same spirit, you can also opt for a dog sledding tour. The dog sledding tour is more active, taking place during the day and offering a fantastic opportunity to immerse yourself in a breathtaking scenery.
However, due to our schedule and budget constraints, we opted for the Sami tour. This unique experience highlights local traditions and culture, with an added chance to catch a glimpse of the Northern Lights. We found this excursion incredibly enriching, yet there are a few things to keep in mind.
First, it will be helpful to brush up on your English before the visit to fully enjoy the experience. The departure can be surprising, even disappointing, as you will be transported there in large tourist buses. And if you associate sledding with speed, opt for dogs rather than reindeer.
Second activity, ice fishing. The day we dedicated to this activity turned out to be unforgettable from start to finish. Neither hunting nor fishing are usually part of our hobbies, but let's put this practice into context. Norwegians have been ice fishing in the fjords for millennia. It's a thoughtful and artisanal form of fishing where the size of the fish is carefully controlled to ensure the smaller ones are released back into the water. The icing of the cake is that the day will continue at our guide's home, where we will learn how to cook and then enjoy our catch the Norwegian way, a real bonus. So let's dive into discovering this activity. As part of a group of 8 travelers, we followed Karen to the fishing site, roughly 30 minutes from the center of Tromsø. Once there, the first step was to put crampons on our shoes so we could walk on the frozen fjord. It's an incredible feeling to move under a magnificent sun surrounded by snow-capped mountains just a few centimeters above the waters of the Arctic Ocean. Following tradition, each of us spent a good 10 minutes sweating as we drilled our own holes through the ice, finally able to drop our lines.
And you know what? The fishing was really good! Our small group managed to catch 10 fish, of which only 3 had to be released, with the largest catch reaching a good 5 kilos. We then grilled the cod in foiled packets over a traditional wood fire around which we all gathered inside a cabin in our host's backyard. It's worth nothing that the adventure wouldn't have been as fantastic without Karen's experience in kites. She recently started this small family business that is close to people and nature.
For the third of our activities, we chose something entirely different, a kayaking trip in the fjords. Unfortunately, due to strong sea currents, the agency we contacted had to cancel our outing. Therefore, we are unable to share that experience with you. However, we leave you with the contact details of the agency in the description below, as they left us with a very good impression. Apart from these activities, Tromsø turns out to be a very pleasant city. Take a walk in its city center and be sure to visit the library, whose architecture and atmosphere are worth the trip on their own. You can also choose to gain some elevation with the Fjellheisen cable car located on the other side of the bridge. We recommend dressing warmly as the wind can be very strong up there, but rest assured, your efforts will be richly rewarded with an impressive view over the city's rooftops and the surrounding fjords.
Another fun activity is to have a drink with your family at the Magic Ice Bar Tromsø, a place where everything is sculpted directly from ice. Except your drink, of course. And what about the Northern Lights? Bad weather, bad winds. During our visit, we didn't see a single aurora in Tromsø or its surroundings.
The famous Norwegian Coastal Express line runs along the coast from Bergen to Kirkenes, covering a distance of over 2,700 kilometers in 12 days. Long operated by a single company, but now open to a second, the journey includes 34 stops at various port towns, large and small, day and night. Each stop can last from 10 minutes to a few hours, allowing time to embark and disembark passengers as well as to take a quick tour of the places served. As for us, we boarded in Tromsø around 1 a.m. on Friday and left the ship in Trondheim around 7 a.m. on Sunday. Among the things that particularly stood out to us were the high proportion of elderly passengers. Note this remark is made with the utmost kindness, as well as the wide variety of dishes offered at each meal, which were very good to our pleasant surprise. This is one of the reasons we recommend opting for the food board option. As for the scenery, what can we say except that it was fabulous, whether you enjoy it from the deck, the bar, or even from the jacuzzi. More details can be found in the description below.
Dramatic turn of events. As we were enjoying our last dinner on board, around 10 p.m. an announcement from the captain alerted us to the imminent appearance of the Northern Lights. Without a second thought, everyone interrupted their meal and rushed to the deck. Needless to say, we were overjoyed. Despite the pitching of the boat, it was possible to take some lovely souvenir photos. However, you should know one thing. The auroras are more beautiful in photos than to the naked eye. Humans perceive their movements in the sky, but much less intensely than the camera lens does. Our final landing town, Trondheim, is quite a charming place. You can spend a few hours exploring it before catching your return flight. As for us, we took a taxi to the local airport. It takes around 30 minutes and costs around 90 euros. We've often heard that life in Norway is extremely expensive, but this isn't entirely true. Compared to life in Paris, for example, you can expect a cost increase of about 10 to 50% for accommodation and food. For more details, please refer to the PDF I provided in the description part. To give you an idea of the overall budget, our trip, including flight, accommodation, activities, and the all-inclusive cruise, cost us 1,900 euro per person for 10 days for a group of 4. One crucial aspect to consider in Norway is clothing. It can make a significant difference in your comfort and experience. We had to purchase quite a bit of gear before our trip.
The key is layering. Start with the top and bottom made of pure merino wool as your base layer. For the second layer, opt for a fleece jacket. For the third layer, a thick waterproof coat like a ski jacket or a heavy down jacket will do. The lower body, 2 layers are enough, with your skis pants as the outer layer. Avoid cotton for base layers, as it can cause you to get cold from sweat. Merino wool is preferable because it keeps you warm and is very comfortable to wear. Also, make sure to pack undergloves, undersocks, and hats and scarves that cover your neck, nose, and ears well. Wearing sturdy hiking boots is essential, so choose them carefully.
Lastly, don't forget to use a good facial cream. Ideally, use a water-free cream specially designed for extreme cold, which can also double as sunscreen. We've listed all our recommended items just below. We hope you enjoyed this video. See you soon to discover a new destination. Leave us a comment and a like. It will make us very happy, and don't forget to subscribe. See you!